Vision is that idea that you can give somebody a perspective on how to move from here to way over there. Vision is that perspective that you can give somebody to move from here to way, way over there. So if you are able to give someone that perspective, how would you go about doing it? Today, we're going to wear the 5 hats of getting to a vision. I'm going to give you 5 different hats that you can try on. You know that we here on this program, we are all about giving you the tools and practice for standing up for your true self. And some of the tools and practice that we're working on today are, you've heard me talk about try something on and exercise like a sweater. So try something on like a hat. Today, we're going to try on the 5 hats. So let me start right from the very beginning. Hello and welcome to today. Today, we're going to be talking about make your business vision 2020 in 2020. Give yourself that clear view of what you want your business vision to be. This is for yourself and your own business if you're a solopreneur. This is for your department if you're within a company. This is for your whole huge big company if you're managing a $1 billion company. So it's at every level. What is your vision? Your vision for your business, your vision for your home, your vision. And today we're going to try on 5 hats. So literally one by one, we're going to try on 5 hats. I'm going to give them to you pretty quickly so you can try them all on. And then I'm going to hear from you what works for you as a vision, what's important for you. So just before we get to the 5 hats, I'm going to read off to you some mission statements by companies, just a few to get a little bit of a taste of what they're like. So you can remember them. A lot of these you know. So here they are. I'm going to read them off to you. For example, TED, the TED Talks. Their vision is to spread ideas. Probably the shortest I've heard. 2 words, and it's that spread. It's such a clear word, to spread ideas. Life is Good, the company that makes the great shirts and other things, to spread the power of optimism. Really clear also. Let me give you a few more examples of these kinds of vision, and then we're really going to focus on what are you going to say as your vision statement. And I'll give you one piece of context. I have sometimes worked with people, leaders at large companies, and I heard this one great thing about vision once, which is somebody who had been at a company for over 10 years, and the CEO was at the company for 10 years. And every quarter, the CEO stood up and said what the vision is, what's important, what really needs to happen. And this person who was relaying this to me said, I've been a leader at this company for over 10 years, and I have heard the CEO saying the same thing 40 times, 40 quarters, 10 years, the same thing 40 times. And today I challenge you and invite you to determine what is the kind of vision that you could say 40 times, that you could be excited about saying 40 times. So let me give you some more examples. IKEA, a store that we go to get things for our homes, to create a better everyday life for many people. Simple, clear. I'll give you 2 others. You're probably familiar with Warby Parker, the phenomenal eyeglass company, to offer designer eyewear at a revolutionary price while leading the way for socially conscious businesses. So that it includes what they're doing, but also their view to lead the way for socially conscious businesses. And I'll give you one more. And I really like this because it combines the business, but also the big picture, which is JetBlue, to inspire humanity, both in the air and on the ground. And that has a fun little quirk to it too, to inspire humanity, both in the air and on the ground. All right, so let's start putting on our 5 hats. Here are the 5 hats. The 5 hats are going to be, what is your one? We're talking right now about the one thing. So let me share with you what I'm talking about here. Just a moment. Let me give it to you on the screen. And we are almost there. There we go. All right, so one of our things that we're talking about is the one thing. And if you haven't read this book, highly recommend it. Great book. The idea is that of this book is that you want less in your life and you want more in your life. You want less, you want fewer distractions, fewer overwhelming things, and you want more. You want more of something that matters to you. So the premise of this book is choose your one thing. And today I'm going to talk about it as that perspective, as the one thing perspective. So one hat that you can put on as you're thinking about what is my vision as a family, as a business, as my solopreneur business, as my department. What is the one thing? And that perspective, even just now, as you're sitting here with me and listening or watching, if you sit back, what is Use your gut, use your intuition. What is the one thing that matters most? Give us your comments in the comments section. What is the one thing that matters most? So first perspective, if you just distill it all away and let your gut answer for what really matters, what is that one thing that keeps coming up again and again for you? That's perspective number one, the one thing. Let's move on to perspective number two. Oh man, you're so great. Okay, let me share some of the comments. Perspective number one, the one thing. One of you is saying inner peace. Inner peace is the one thing. That sounds like a big thing, inner peace. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is a question that we ask during our coaching sessions so much of the time. And it's the perspective of, if anything were possible. If you're looking at the world and you wonder if anything were possible. And it's interesting, I speak with a lot of consultants, and sometimes they will say something like, I want to be on Oprah, when Oprah was on the air all the time. If anything were possible, that is my thing. And I have heard people say, well, what if you went a little bigger than that even? What if anything were possible? What if you had a program like Oprah's program? What if you wrote the 5 best-selling books on topic X? And that might be your thing and that might not be your thing. But the question, the second hat, is hat number 2. What if anything were possible? And I will add a comment by Brian here on our program. And he says, if anything were possible, connecting deeply with others through quality conversations. And Brian may be answering either for if anything were possible or for the one thing. But in any case, that is a vision that is lasting. You could say that 40 times, 10 years over 4 quarters. Okay, so we've done the one thing. We've done if anything were possible. And then let me introduce you to a third one, which is 10-10-10. So you're probably all familiar with Susie Welch, and you may even know that she's written this book. And this book that I will show you in a moment, this book was created for decision-making philosophy, how to make decisions. But I encourage you to use it as a vision exercise. So let me share it with you here on the screen. Okay, there you go. So this is Susie Welch's 10-10-10 book. And I'm showing it in case you want to find it after the program. This book, again, is about decisions. And here's how the 10-10-10 works. So the 3 questions that she asks are, what are the consequences of my decision in 10 minutes, in 10 months, and in 10 years? So I ask you, what is a vision that you could get behind in the next 10 minutes, in the next 10 months, and in the next 10 years? So I'll just pause for a moment here at this item 3 to give you a moment. What is a vision that you could get behind for the next 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years? Recapping, we have done the one thing, the perspective of the one thing. We have done the perspective of if anything were possible, what would you most want your vision to be? We have done the perspective of 10-10-10, 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years. Let's move on to our remaining 2 hats that we're putting on to try to create your vision, to summarize your vision to other people. What is your legacy to be? Number 4. What is the meaningful impact you want to have on the world? What is your legacy? So if you had to think about what would I create between now and a year from now? A lot of people find this topic kind of morose, and I used to as well. But I've actually found a lot of business leaders for whom this lights a fire under their feet. The idea of thinking, okay, if I'm not here in a year or in 5 years, what do I want my legacy to be? My legacy for business, my legacy for home. So that's what I invite you to do. What do you want your legacy to be? Give me your top of mind comments right into the comments section. Your legacy. What do you want to have remaining that would be meaningful, that would have an impact? Reviewing again, we've done the one thing. We've done the what if anything were possible, 10-10-10, and legacy. Last topic, motto. What would you like the motto to be? And I'll just back up and say I have 2 young kids, so anytime I say the word motto, I always think of The Lion King, where one says, what's the motto? Oh, I don't know. What's the matter with you? So not what's the matter, but what's the motto? What do you want your motto to be? And I will say that the perspective here is that you actually can be cheesy, and you can be emotional, and you can be all of those things that we tend not to be as much in our business lives, which is what really matters to you. What kind of motto would matter? And I'll give you a perspective from our perspective. As a group of coaches, Silicon Valley Change, we have this magical, this juice, this magic powder in terms of our coaches. And at first, for a long time, I couldn't put my finger on it. And then I went to a workshop session by the author of the Culture Code or the Talent Code, one of those, I think the Culture Code at the time. And he said, the cheesier your statement, your motto is, the more likely it is to be true. And I thought about all of our coaches, and they're incredible coaches. They can coach at that C-suite and senior vice president level. They can coach at the manager level, at the individual contributor level. So they're amazing coaches. It makes my business easy because I just tell people how incredible our coaches are. But if I think about our business, and heads up, this may sound cheesy or cliche, but it's also so true. Our coaches are people first and coaches second. So if you are an executive and you're working with one of our coaches, you are going to feel like there's a real person who cares about your aspirations, your goals, who is there supporting and challenging you. So they're people first. They actually check in with you. They're real people. It's not transactional in any way. That would be the opposite of the experience of coaching. So they're people first and coaches second. And I realize that that sounds very emotional more than business and practical, but it's a vision. It's the direction that I want to continue when I bring on new coaches for them to be. So now we've walked through, let me put up this motto that somebody has. This is Brian's motto. Brian, this is so beautiful. Have you had this forever, or did you come up with this recently? So here's Brian's motto: care, connect, commit, create. I feel like that's the beginning of an awesome rap song. Care, connect, commit, create. Thank you, Brian. That's exactly what I mean. So I will wrap up by, at this point, we will ask what we usually ask near the end of our sessions, which is, what are your takeaways so far? What are you taking from this conversation on 5 different hats, not 4, 5 different hats to wear to bring your vision forward? And I'll recap them one more time. The 5 hats are, and I will do this with visual, explanation. The 5 hats are the one thing. What is your one thing that you want to do? If anything were possible, what would you most like to achieve? Number 2, if anything were possible, what would you most like to achieve? The 3rd section, which is visual aid. The 10-10-10. What's a vision that you could get behind in 10 minutes, in 10 months, and in 10 years? Our 5th hat is your legacy to be. What do you want your legacy to be? Your legacy in the future, what would you like it to be? And the final one is your motto. So we've got the one thing, if anything were possible, 10-10-10, legacy, and motto. And with that, I invite you to just wear that like the hats. Try those on. Walk around your house later today and just think, what is that? What is my one thing? If anything were possible, what would I most want our business to achieve? What do I believe in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years? What do I want my legacy to be? And what's a motto that I can get behind? Thank you so much for joining us. We're delighted to be with you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Susan Bernstein